What's up, everyone? It's Mix from version 1, and today we're gonna be doing something extremely different that I haven't done before. I noticed that when people come to my studio, they always have a bunch of questions for me to answer. It's not that I'm tired of answering them, but I figured, why don't I create a video with all of these questions that they're asking me? So today we're gonna be interviewing someone very important to version 1, and that person is me. So I'll be interviewing myself with all your questions that you normally ask me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and subscribe. So let's get that first question out of the way. How did you start tattooing? So the story of how I started tattooing is basically I owned a sneaker shop back in the day next to a tattoo shop, and I started hanging out there. One of the persons learning to tattoo there, I asked him if I could get him to basically be the head artist in my shop that I was wanting to build at that time. So I made a partnership with him. His name is Carbs. Really good black work artist. You can look him up. And in that shop where he used to intern in or apprentice in, it was called Wild Ink, and I also got my first tattoo there. It's this one right here. It's a ram skull done by Jeff Glavis. So he's a great artist. You can look him up on Facebook and whatever. Good stuff. Shout out to Jeff. Hope you're doing well. So anyway, back to how I started tattooing. One day, the shop wasn't doing well. We were looking at the numbers, and Carbs told me, hey, you should learn to tattoo so that you can get more income. Because at that time, I had nothing. That was it. My sneaker shop wasn't doing well, and I was relying on the tattoo income, which wasn't coming in. So he taught me how to tattoo, basically. Well, he didn't teach me. He taught me more of art stuff. He taught me how to draw. So he gave me a lot of drawing lessons, and then I bought my machine set, and I practiced using a pen wrapped around or stuck into a grip with the machine running. So I'm trying to trace a design with pen. That didn't really help. Then I tried to use pigskin. I made a stencil. I'd stick it onto the pig skin. So I'd go to Pure Gold. I'd go over to the chopping guy and be like, meron ba kayong balat ng baboy dyan? Gusto ko bumili. It's gagawin yung chicharon. I was like, hindi. Dodrawingan ko lang. Then he just gives me this look. Siguro nagtatattoo to, like that. So he knew. So he sold it to me, and I started practicing on it. Maybe I tried using it, I think, 4 times. But I never really got the right feel for it because the skin is a little weird. So I ended up having to go around Pure Gold and all these car wash areas and offered the car wash boys, the security guards. I even went to an Elorde gym and asked the trainers if they wanted tattoos. And I basically did a bunch of free tattoos, and sadly, the partnership ended and we had to split, and I had to create my own studio. And that's when I really learned to grind tattooing day in, day out. It was tattoo is tattoo life, because it fed me. So basically all my income and whatever, all my equipment, everything I saved up is from tattooing. So tattooing, I guess it's life now. How many years have you been tattooing? Well, I've been tattooing for about 4 to 5 years now. I say 4 to 5 because I kind of took it seriously later, but I kind of knew how to tattoo for 5. It's been 5 years now that I know how to tattoo, but I only took it seriously about 4 years now. So the first year wasn't really serious about it. What is it like learning to tattoo in the Philippines? In the Philippines, learning to tattoo is, I would say, very, very difficult. Because, I don't know, maybe in the States or other countries it's the same, but here, like, people like to keep things secret because the more tattoo artists come up or get better, the more competition it is for an already small market. Because we are in a traditional country, like medyo old times pa rin yung way of thinking dito. Pero it's getting better now. But yeah, it's very difficult to learn here. You kind of have to rely on yourself, just go out there, find people to practice on, pick up some videos online, like watch them, and I suggest you watch like really credible people that really know what they're talking about, because you could learn some wrong stuff from them. Alright? I'm not a master at this yet, but if you do have questions, you could just leave it in the comments below on all my videos so that I could help out. It's a community that I'm trying to build. I'm not that selfish when it comes to information. Alright? But yeah, we have no master apprentice relationship here. If there are very, very few of them. And to those that do learn from their masters, they're good artists. I mean, I have to say, among a lot of the Asian countries, or at least Southeast Asia, I think the Philippines is top one when it comes to tattooing. That's just my opinion, but I've seen tons of great work done by Filipinos everywhere. Do you join Dutdutan? Do I join Dutdutan? This is a question that I'm a little sensitive towards because I really don't believe in scaling an artist's capability or skill level or talent when it comes to competitions. It's a different setting, there are time limits, and the judging, sadly, I don't want to get into that. It's very political and forget it. So I don't join them. I don't even go to the events. I don't know. That's just me. I just don't. Again, the general public needs to understand that if your artist isn't competing in Dutdutan, that doesn't mean he's a sucky artist. Always base it off the portfolio. And make sure the portfolio that you're looking at isn't photoshopped and highly enhanced. If you see a lot of these, like, if the portfolio is with this black and white filter or monochrome, if you will, ask to see the actual picture, because a monochrome photo can hide a lot of imperfections as well as highly edited ones. Now, if you're gonna drop saturation, that's okay. But really look into the photos really well. Alright? Don't make that mistake. Is it hard to grow or get known as a tattoo artist in the Philippines? It is hard to get famous here in the Philippines for being a tattoo artist. Well, mainly because tattooing is still not yet that, accepted. I mean, it is slowly getting there, but if you're to do a census maybe of people interested in getting tattoos now, you'd probably come up with maybe, at least in the younger generation, maybe 20% of them want. So you're already dealing with a smaller population, and then there are those bigger names or whatever that are already out, and there's a bunch of up and comers that are just coming out of nowhere that have a lot of good talent. And there are also those that don't have good talent, they just know how to talk well. But that's part of the game, you have to hustle. It's about hustling every day to get, I don't want to say bread because it sounds lame, but to feed yourself. What or how are your tattoo peers like? Like, how do other tattoo artists like talk to each other in general in the Philippines? It's a very difficult question to answer because sadly there is such a thing as crab mentality in the country. I know a lot of you artists would also back me in this, or even in general, like in general, people would agree that there is a crab mentality in the Philippines wherein you don't want somebody to get ahead of you because you kind of want to be up there, you want to be on top, right? So sadly, there is a stigma when it comes to that in this business, but it's not all bad. There are some great artists out there that are very helpful. Dennis Hermosa, for one. Check out his works. You can Instagram him or something. He's a good friend of mine. Miko Geologo. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he's a great realism artist. And he also gave me a bunch of tips. My gray set or gray wash blending set or technique came from him. Those are the two people that actually gave me tips. Oh, and also Carbs. I think he still goes by Loki something. I don't know. But yeah, he's the guy that helped me start out with drawing. So it's not all bad, but I would have to say it's pretty bad. What is your favorite style of tattooing? My favorite tattoo style to tattoo is neo-traditional style. It's bright and bold, and they're bulletproof tattoos that will stand the test of time with a couple of retouches here or there. Same thing with American Trad. American Trad is bold and bright, and that will even look good as it ages. Those are my favorites. Japanese, it's okay. It's like thinner lines with color. Black works, I do enjoy that. Black and gray, yes, but I need to do way more black and gray so that I get better at it. But I'm not that bad. Do you tattoo yourself? I do not do any tattoos on me. Like, I believe that it's when you get the tattoo, it's better to be tattooed by someone else so that it's an art piece by that person rather than me just scribbling on myself. Not unless you're starting out and you want to practice, you could tattoo yourself, but that's on you. You'll just have to like make it better later on. But yeah, I mean it's a good story piece. But yeah, for me, I get my tattoos done by other people. That's how I like it. What are your hobbies outside of tattooing? My other hobbies are, well, I'm a big gamer. I like to play video games. I love to watch anime. Like, I watch a lot of anime. Maybe too much anime. But you have to do something to pass the days that you're not tattooing. I also like to paint, as you can see. I like to paint. I don't know. When you paint, you're also actually practicing tattooing, or you're just practicing your art senses. Basically, the more you do artistic stuff, the better you become at doing it, like blending or color theory. All that stuff comes with practice. Put in those 10,000 hours. I'm a big believer of the mastery. I forgot what book that was called. I think it's called Mastery by something, wherein you put in 10,000 hours of work on that something that you're supposed to be doing, and you'll be a master by the end of those 10,000 hours. If you could go back in time and change something you did or something you regret doing, what would it be and why? If I could go back in time and change something, I probably wouldn't change a thing, even though I had a pretty tough time figuring out what I wanted to do in life. What do you call this? Like, I took up dentistry in college and I didn't finish it. I went to the States for 6 months to try and figure out what I wanted to do there and didn't do anything. I came back here to do real estate, and basically it felt like life was just handing me handouts and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't proud of what I was doing until I decided to strike out on my own. I tried a couple of businesses, and those businesses had their problems as well. And then I found tattooing. And I was never an artistic kid growing up. I mean, I had a project like when I was in grade 4 where I had to create a scrapbook of my life back then. I was like only 12 years old or 10 years old maybe, I don't know. And per chapter, my mom would say, hey, you should create a piece of, like a cover per chapter, like an art thing, so that it looks nice and you can present it to your teachers and you get a better grade, right? So they gave me like a watercolor set, and I just started like watercoloring like abstract stuff. And maybe then I kind of knew that I had, or my mom and my parents kind of knew that I had some artistic side to me, but I was always more of a sportsman growing up. Soccer, basketball, and all that stuff. So my attention was never there until I went to school, never really touched art. And it was really just getting my first tattoo and owning a shop that really brought out my artistic side. So, and a lot of free time. A lot of free time helps. And support of my family, I guess. My parents, like, they kind of knew that it's hard to make money in this line of work, but I'm still gonna do it, you know? So, no regrets here, and that's basically me. Tattoo artist for version 1 tattoo. Alright, so that ends my self-interview because Ink Mag magazine isn't gonna interview me anytime soon, so I interviewed myself. There you go. That's me. If you guys like the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment below. If you have more questions to ask, just leave it in the comments. I'll answer them. If you want any tips, just leave it down there. Subscribe, hit that bell, and like always, I'll see you in the next video.